Your story is waiting for you today. Your story has something new to say. But your story will only come out to play when you're alone. Alone. Alone in a room with invisible people.
The following episode may contain swearing. Alone in a Room with Invisible People is brought to you by hollyswritingclasses.com. Hi, I'm Rebecca Galardo, the host of Alone in a Room with Invisible People. I'm here today with author and teacher Holly Lyle, and today's topic is event writing, part 2, process. So yeah, we are definitely still on event planning. We still have one more week to go. And again, this is for if you're doing the summer fiction writing with us, if you're doing NaNoWriMo in November, if you're doing Script Frenzy or 3-Day Novel, anything out there, because there's plenty of event writing activities. And this is about process. So we'll get into that, but as we always do, we're going to talk about our weeks. So Holly, how did your week go?
I had an awesome week. I was going to say, wait a minute. Yeah,
there.
Seriously. I had really good things happen in an otherwise just really difficult week. But I'm just going to focus on the really good things here. I got 5,138 words on the Ohio novel in spite of all the crap that went on.
Nice.
Yes. And oh my God, I love that book so much. And I am so excited about it. And it's just, it is the reason that I reinstituted the Friday snippet.
I was going to say, yeah, I remember, like, you told me to go ahead and read the one on Friday last week, and oh my God, that was so cute, and it was so weird.
Yes, and I have a new Friday snippet up from this Friday, and I'm just having such fun with that novel. And the other thing is I finished the How to Write a Novel class, including the bonus, seriously.
So it's not 38 weeks, it's the 39th week.
Yes.
Because you get the extra week in there.
Right, because the bonus is the 39th week, but it's the 38 weeks of lessons plus the bonus. And the bonus is interweaving multiple story threads in big complex novels, and I did that, and it's a video. I have the transcript going off to my transcription company. It's got screenshots, it's got a PDF that goes along with it. That goes through just the basic process of setting up. And it was a really big, really important bonus because when you're writing a novel and you just have one character, it's pretty straight. You want just one main point of view character, it's pretty straightforward. But at the point where you get two antagonists and two protagonists that have their own points of view, and you have the story taking place across different parts of a world simultaneously, and then
you might also have a couple of POV characters thrown in there.
Right. Well, no, I'm saying if you have 4 POV characters.
No, I'm saying the occasional character that might pop in like 4 or 5 times.
Sure, additional characters with shorter storylines, and all of your protagonists have at least 1 and possibly 2 major story conflicts that are running through the entire novel from start to finish. Things get a little complicated, and trying to keep track of where everybody is and what they're doing, and who does what next in order to make the story as interesting as possible is a bitch.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in my office in the little place in South Florida that we lived the first time we lived there, that rental place.
Yeah,
on the top of the stairs, trying to figure out how to untangle Diplomacy of Wolves, because I had multiple point of view characters and multiple locations and just a ton of stuff going on. And I thought, I've never done anything like this before. How do I do this? And I sat there and I figured it out and I nailed it. And I have used the process ever since. So the other thing I did was I built the Summer of Fiction Writing classroom and the forum that links to it. And it is an automatic. When people go in now, if you create a free account, then that is one of the classes along with flash fiction that automatically shows up in your account. It's just right there. Got a bunch of downloads for you of
Oh yeah, you got a bunch of stuff in there. I
Yeah.
was looking through it and I was like, holy shit, this is a lot of work. Because you just had to put everything in like PDF format and put it in there.
Yeah.
And I saw the thing about the kids too. I haven't looked at it yet.
Oh,
but if you
yeah.
have kids, and we've already got like, I was reading through the forums, just scrolling around. We've got like 5 or 6 kids interested in doing this, this thing. This
It's the superheroes
kids'
workshop.
Superhero workshop. Yeah. And we've already got parents saying, oh my God, they're so excited. And that is so cool to me. Like, especially one was like 12, one was 15, one was like 11 or 10 or 11 or something. And I was just blown away. I was like, oh my goodness, that's amazing. That is so cool.
I had such fun building it. And and seriously, and I had such fun drawing my superhero in both normal and superhero form.
Oh, God, you drew them?
Yes.
Oh, I need to look at that PDF.
Yes, and included my drawings as demos. I did a demo with every single thing, the way I do with my adult classes. And one of the things I did was I drew my superhero in its goldfish bowl for the normal version, and then Superfish.
So you did a fish?
I did a goldfish, yes. And I explained why I made my superhero a goldfish. And
All right, so if you wanna see Holly's superhero, even if you're not going to, even if you're not a kid and you're not going to do a superhero story, get the hell in there, get that that download and take a look at her superhero goldfish.
yes, fish and superfish.
Oh, all right. So was that your week?
That was my week, and in spite of the fact that the site was a chaos. It was a very, very busy, messy chaos, and I was exhausted by the end of the week, but I am better today. And
Yeah, I know you had you had Monday through Saturday week. You were
Oh, yeah.
working full days Monday through Saturday.
Yeah.
And that proves the strength of fiction. That proves because your fiction still made it a good week.
Yeah.
And I think that that's an important thing to make sure and highlight for anybody listening is that Holly had a very, very stressful week. It just all of the background work that you guys never see her have to do.
Yeah.
And it was just all day, every day, including Saturday, which she usually tries to take off. And her fiction still made everything okay.
Yep. Best case, it was an 80-hour week. I think it was probably worse than that, but yeah.
Yeah,
And it was
that sounds
still-
about right. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it was
But it
still-
was still worth it.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was. and I got my snippet up on my blog, so.
Yeah, that's hollylyle.com, one word, and then just click on the little blog link, and I think it's actually going to pop up on the
It's just on the front
too,
page
your
now, yeah.
snippet. Yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
So my week, I'll start into my week real quick, but I wanted to give a shout out to one of our people in the forums. So I just wanted to say that Natasha in the 10-minute timer challenge thread was, just has been popping in every single day, and just the days that she misses popping in, she still comes in and she still writes, this day I did this many. She's done 5 months straight.
Wow.
Yeah, 5 months straight of 10-minute timer challenges. I mean, that is consistency, and that's writing like every. I don't know if I think it's every single day. Now, personally, like I don't write every day, especially Sundays. Sundays is a podcast day, and originally I was going to take off Mondays, Saturdays and Mondays, but now with the summer of fiction writing, those are my 2 writing days for the summer of fiction writing.
Yeah.
But, there's no way to say, like, you have to write every single day. But if you're writing 5 days a week and you're consistent and you write every single one of those 5 days a week for 5 months, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Whatever her every day that she's supposed to write, she writes. 5 months, that's, I just really wanted to give her a shout out because that's crazy consistent.
Yeah, she kicked ass. That was awesome.
Yeah. So, my week was pretty crazy. I took Monday off because I did everything on the podcast on Sunday, and it was, a lot of work, and I decided, well, Mondays I'm going to start taking off. Well, Tuesday, apparently my muse was not happy with the Monday off, and it wrote 2 scenes. And I was like, okay, well, that's fine. You can do that. And then on Wednesday, my muse wanted to write another scene, 2 scenes. I was like, okay, but, calm down.
Have some dip.
Yeah. Well, and it's just the thing is, like, I don't want to burn out, and I know myself. And then Tony had to go and visit his granddaughter on Thursday and Friday. And while I'm very happy for him and very happy for his son and future daughter-in-law, it's just hard for me personally, no kids, I'm not going to have grandkids. And this is something that I'm struggling through right now. So I decided, or my muse decided, that we were going to fill in the time with fiction and lessons. So I got 4 scenes on Thursday and 4 scenes on Friday.
It's awesome.
Plus a lot of lessons. So I got 14,587 words in 4 days.
Damn.
Now, it's not the best I've ever done because of the 3-day novel, but considering that I was not stressing myself, I was taking breaks to go. After every scene, I would clean something, or I would hit something else on my to-do list, and, give the rats some me time, because you're supposed to spend some time with them every day. So I was still getting other shit around the house done, but almost, 15,000 words. That's pretty good for my 1,000 words a day goal.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
and
2
apparently,
weeks.
Yeah. That's 2 weeks, 7 days a week.
Yeah. So really, that's like 3 weeks in 4 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my muse has also decided it's not going to be a 30,000 word or a 50,000 word novel, because we just now hit the midpoint. So she's kicking it up to 60 and threatening 70. And right now I'm sitting at 35,909 words. So I'm feeling good.
Fantastic. Oh, that's wonderful. Mm-hmm. Oh. Awesome. Right. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Right. No, don't do that. But yeah. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Nice. There you go. Oh, I'm so excited for you. That is so cool. And I cannot wait to read these books. So,
Let's talk about our goals for summer fiction writing real quick before we get into this. You talk about your goal real quick, and then I'll talk about mine.
okay, I have two goals. And the first of them is to finish the Ohio novel in first draft. And the second is to finish the Dead Man's Party revision. And people are going, well, I've seen a lot of these comments on the board with, well, it takes so long to do a revision. Well, if you're doing it and you know how to do it, it takes me about a week.
Yeah, well, you have that 7-day crash revision that you put out first, and then I was like, well, a lot of people might need something a little bit more in depth, and then that's when you created the How to Revise Your Novel.
Right.
So if you've gone through that once or twice, you could probably do the 7-day
Right,
crash,
exactly.
right?
It's once you understand the processes and once you have eliminated a lot of the mistakes you make, which you learn by going through how to revise your novel, you discover these amazing piles of mistakes you make. Then you don't make them anymore, so future novels require less revision.
Or you catch yourself making them, and then you make notations in like the provisional outline or in like a sticky pad on the printed paper, and you put it there, so you already have found that problem and you already know what you're looking at.
Exactly, so it speeds revision immensely. So
Yeah.
those are my two goals: finish Ohio novel and revise Dead Man's Party.
Mine is I want to write a Fulton Hills world book for myself. And I don't want to finish it because this is something that will always be added on to anytime I'm writing a book. I might think of something new. I'll just put it in the world book. So it'll be great for tracking for me, but it's also a great place to dump all of my research, all of my previous story ideas, all of my previous characters, and I can start hinting at them coming into the future. If I can just get the background, the history of Fulton Hills, and the Noho, which is my Native American tribe and has a longer name. If I can just get the history down on both of those, I'll be happy. But I've already come up with new cryptids. I've already come up with, a couple of different ideas for
wow.
things that I don't want to go into right now. But that is my goal. And again, it doesn't have to be finished, but my goal wordage is about 25,000 words. I have 27 days to write, and during the week, I have 2 hours a day, 50 days to research. And that's Tuesday through Friday after I'm done with my Fulton Hills writing. Then I have 2 hours of research after that. So
Nice.
yeah, that is my goal. So let's go ahead and get into this topic. This is event writing, part 2, process.
Okay. Let me say first that process is individual. It depends on your goal. The specific steps are different for writing a story or revising one, for example, but successful processes have common ground. Successful processes we're going to go through now. And step one of these is you have to show up. Your dreams pay you the same way McDonald's does. And McDonald's was one of my first jobs when I was a kid. And I loved it. I learned so much from working at McDonald's. But one of the things I learned was you have to show up for work. If you don't show up for work, you don't get paid. And this is an absolute. If you want to be a writer, you have to show up for work. And when you clock in and you do your work with writing, it is a better, more joyful job than anything else I have ever done in my life. And I have had a lot of jobs I've actually liked, but writing is the absolute best. Yeah. So, the first process is show up. And what's your experience with that?
Yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, to me, writing pays you in so many different ways, not just a physical money kind of payment. If you want to be a writer, but you don't really care about making it your living, and a lot of people don't. A lot of people have jobs that they absolutely fucking love, but they're also creators, and they also want to write. So if you don't want to make a living at it, you still have to show up to get paid, to get the payoff of creation. So making yourself a little schedule is really, really important. There were many, many, many years where I knew I wasn't going to be doing this for a living at the time, because I was having to provide for both me and my husband, or we were both working and it wasn't making enough money, so we had to pay our bills. And I can say that the days that I stuck to the schedule that I had created for myself, the days that I made time to write, made everything else kind of just dull out in the background, made the stress of the bills dull out a little bit. We were really, really bad off there for a while. We thought we were going to end up homeless because his company had moved and had dropped him, and it was either that or he had to move to another state, and he wasn't obviously going to leave me behind. And I was working as a maid, and I mean, I've talked about the hours before. So every chance I got, I would write on the tri-rail. I would write, when the other girl was driving. I had all of these great ideas, and I would just write down ideas, or I found the time to do it, and that's showing up. It doesn't have to be on a schedule. If your job is crazy like mine was, where you're waking up at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning and not getting home until 9. You need your sleep. You have to sleep. So find ways, even if you have to do what Mark has done and I have done on longer trips, which is talk to a recorder, talk to the voice recording app on your cell phone. If you have to, buy one of those little things that magnetize, that holds your phone up in the car near your face, and just talk out your ideas. It's not ideal for a lot of people because their process is physically writing something down.
Right.
But you learn to adapt.
Yes. Your muse, your right brain, will jump in if it sees that it's going to get a chance to play. It will work with you.
Yes.
To get that playtime, to be acknowledged as, there.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of times it will adapt very quickly, because if you are working at such a stressful amount of hours, it will show up very quickly and be like, oh, I get a chance. So, yeah.
Yeah, and getting to hang out with your invisible people on a daily basis and see what crazy things they're doing next is an immense stress reliever. My best day of writing when I was working in the ER was Monday, when I would come in after having worked 24 hours in 2 days, and sometimes a lot longer because sometimes I would work extra. Monday morning I would roll out of bed and there would be words waiting, and I was ready, because that was my release from from the frequently brutal job that I was working as my pay the bills job.
So what is step 2?
Okay, step 2 is you keep the real target in sight. And this is, individual targets are different, but your target is not a brag shelf with 100 novels by you on it. It's not the line around the block waiting for your signature. Your target is just this one day, just these few minutes, just this next set of words, because that is a target that you can hit every time you sit your butt in the chair and get to work. It's
nice.
Yeah, it is right here, right now. What am I doing today? And that target, you win that 100% of the time if you just show up and then you sit down and do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that is an amazing, really, really amazing point. And it can be boiled down into just simply, we only ever have right now. So that right there, it's that baby steps kind of thing. Yeah, writing 250 words in 2 10-minute spurts doesn't feel like a whole lot. But, 4 days you have a scene.
1 year you have a novel.
Yeah.
At 250 words a day.
Yeah, 250 words a day. You have a finished first draft in a year, roughly. It could be more, it could be less, depending on how long you want that big-ass novel to be. So that is kind of the idea, is do what you can when you can. Make the time to do it and keep that target in mind, because that's all you can ever do at any one moment that you are here right now.
Right, that's it. That is all anybody can ever do, is what you're doing right here, right now. And people complicate it so much by adding layers of stuff on it that isn't relevant.
Yeah.
That's, well, okay, but I also have to consider all the stuff that I have to do, and then the other stuff that has to come after that, and then, no, it's just right here, right now.
Yeah. I mean, if you're one of those people that always has everything in your head, write a list. Write down, put it on a piece of paper that's specifically for the novel, or get out a little, notepad and just write down everything that you have to do in order to complete this novel. But make sure that the first item is get my words, or write every day, or whatever, however you want to word it. And then once the novel is done, you can cross it off and then move into the next step, which is going to be, how do I figure out how to revise this thing? Right. And again, I'm just going to say how to revise your novel. I know we're not, I'm not, but I will, like I said before, I will take to my grave the amazingness of that, I will always give that course a shout out, because it's incredible. It's also like masochism, but it's really, really incredible.
The first time through, it's brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got people dropping left and right like flies. And then they come back and then they're like, I'm going to take another go at it, because it's the hardest thing I've ever done. It
is the hardest course I offer.
Yeah,
it is. And I know this, and I say this right up at the very front. I think I've got it on the description of the class. This is the toughest class I offer, and it's really hard. But it is absolutely learnable. It's absolutely doable, and you only have to go through the crap once.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the thing too. Like my husband and I, we are watching the TV series Alone, and we are up to season 4. So no spoilers, please, people. But we are up to season 4, and it's basically this time they give you 2 people, and they are on the opposite ends of their area. They're 10 miles apart, and one of them is hiking and the other one is setting up the base trail. And the one hiking has to find the other person with just a compass. But it's it's not in Patagonia. It's in Vancouver. It's something, Vancouver Island, I think, in British Columbia. And it is just this slog of these horrible area with cougars and bears and wolves, and they have to get to the other person. And this is real life. This is a reality TV show, and they don't have people filming them. They are filming themselves. And so, yeah.
Have they signed an if I get eaten by a bear waiver?
Yes, of course.
No.
They have to sign the waivers. These are hardcore survivalist types. I mean, hardcore. These people are amazing, and some people tap out within a couple of hours. Like the one guy who was talking shit about bears with his friends before he got into the actual world, and then he sat foot on the place, and then he starts walking around finding bear poop everywhere. He tapped out within 5 hours. And the goal is that everybody is ready to spend a year out there.
No.
Yeah. It's crazy and it's awesome, but the reason I bring it up is How to Revise Your Novel feels like that in the beginning.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And then at the end, if you're the last survivor, you win that $500,000. It's you win because that book is done, and it feels like $500,000. It feels like $1 million. But you have to get through Vancouver Island
and bear poop
for however long, yeah. And bear poop and bears come up. There's 7,000 bears that live on that island.
That's nuts, man. That is seriously nuts. 2,000
cougars. The bears don't scare me. It's the cougars. Because you hear bears coming and you can go, hey, bear, and you can stand up and make yourself big. And if it's a male, you just back away real slow and walk off. And you do have little bear spray and air horns. Cougars don't give a shit about none of that, except for maybe the bear spray. And cougars are silent.
Yeah.
So that's like that kind of mentality is that course. But yeah, so going into the next step. What is the next step?
Okay, step 3. You find the joy, the beauty, the love in your work. You find your passion. You find the thing that makes you drag your butt out of bed in the morning or stay up an hour late at night, and that makes your heart beat faster, and that makes you know that you are in the right place at the right time. This is tough. This is it. The work itself is demanding because it is thinking and being logical and being creative at the same time, and putting together pieces of a puzzle that only you can see in the whole world. This puzzle is just yours. It is 1,000 tiny pieces. All of them are exactly the same color. And you have to figure out how to put this thing together. But it is amazing and fascinating and fun and wonderful. And this is the part of it that you have to find, is where is your joy in this thing? You are bringing imaginary people to life. Maybe that's your joy. You are building a world that nobody has ever seen before, and that you haven't really seen, but that you are unrolling it a little bit at a time, like Becky, and what she is building with this amazing world that is just kind of unfolding in little pieces and whispering secrets to her in the middle of the night.
Yes.
It is the most amazing, most wonderful, most fascinating job that I have ever had. And like I said, I have had some pretty cool, interesting jobs, but not like this, man. This thing is just love.
Yeah, and if you're not crazy about doing character biographies, just try to figure out a different way to do them. You don't have to do a character biography, because remember, this is one of my favorite things that I saw, and I created a little image, and I shared it on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. It was something Holly said: there are no mistakes in first draft, only opportunities. And that was fucking huge to me. So while I'm taking this How to Write a Novel course, I and writing the first Fulton Hills book, you had a different way of creating characters, and it leaves a lot more mystery. And I love that. So if you don't like creating characters, or doing these long character biographies with long descriptions, don't. Just put some factoids in. Just write a little bit about what excites you about the character, and then go from there. Like she's saying, you have to find your joy. And I wanted to bring up stamina in this, because we're talking about a 3-month-long event, and stamina is one of those things that is really important. It's like NaNoWriMo. You start in the very first day, you get 5,000 words, kicking ass. The next day, you get 2,000 or 3,000, or maybe another 5,000, but you quickly burn out. I've seen this over and over and over again. Or people will only get, like a little bit less than that 1667 that is the daily breakdown, and they just give up hope. Creating the goal that is workable, that is achievable for you, is important. And that's why that's the first thing. And that's what, when you go into summer fiction writing, if you're doing it with us, really go through that goal setup workshop that Holly has. It's very quick.
Yeah.
Unless you're like me and you have to make everything more complicated. But finding the joy. I want to mention our episode, Muse Toys. If you haven't listened to it yet and you want to do this summer of fiction writing, check out the episode in Muse Toys, so that you can get some ideas of, if you start to flag, if you start to kind of droop, and like you're just kind of slowing down and losing that motivation, go back into Muse Toys, figure something out that brings you back to the joy of why you started this in the first place. Exactly. And get your ass back to work. Hey guys, it's Rebecca, and I just wanted to take a minute to talk with Holly about how to write a novel. It is currently on sale.
Yes, until June 30th.
Okay, and let us know, just tell us a little bit about the course.
It is 38 weeks. It is step by step with worksheets. It will walk you specifically from how to start with absolutely no idea for your novel, and having never written a novel, and work you through week by week, so that by the end of the class you will have written a novel. I have it right now on the unfinished price.
Oh, okay, so this is still the Canary/Splinter price.
Right.
This is the lowest it's ever going to be, but it also has typos and glitches and
Exactly, because while the course is now finished, I have everything, including the bonus, done, which is a 39th week. So that does not count in with the lessons. The next time I release it, I am going to release it at the completed price.
So why is it on sale right now?
Because we are doing our summer of fiction writing, and I wanted people to be able to have this one last chance to get it for the Canary price.
Yeah, and it also gives you that great little incentive, like you go in there and then you've got the 3 months in order to, write your book.
Well,
I mean,
to get
obviously
started.
It's going to take a little bit longer,
Yes.
Yeah, because it's 38 weeks. But yeah, so it is currently on sale until when?
June 30th.
Okay, all right, great. So we just wanted to let you guys know that the How to Write a Novel, because there's been a lot of interest in it, the How to Write a Novel is at the lowest price it's ever going to be. I know I've talked about it in this episode. I know I've talked about it in the last episodes that we've done. I have 20-something years experience writing. I'm not a published author like Holly, but I have a lot of experience writing, and I'm still finding amazing stuff out of it. Go for it if you want, go for it if you can. So thank you very much. We just wanted to take a minute and talk about the sale that's going on.
Yeah. It helps sometimes if you think of it as playing. I get to play for 1,500 words a day, which is basically what I'm doing right now, about 1,500 words a day. 3 days a week at the moment, and going to be for a little bit longer because I've got to do a revision on Mondays and I've got marketing on Tuesdays. So Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays I get to play for a couple hours, and I get to be who I would be if I were someone else. And I want to take just a second to talk about that a little bit, because people struggle so much trying to make their characters match people that they know, or people that they imagine, that people that they have seen on TV, or people who are politicians or whatever, real people in the world. But when you are a fiction writer, everyone you create is you if you were someone else. And the moment that you embrace that reality, when you get to be, ooh, this is me if I were this terrifying villain. This is me if I were this psycho nut job. This is me if I were the hottest woman in the world. This is me if I were this sneaky little old, not even human creature who gets drunk eating cookies. I built that guy. He is in the
Junk
Ohio
eating cookies. Woohoo.
Yes, he gets absolutely shit-faced on 24 cookies. And it was hilarious when I wrote it. I didn't know it was going to happen. And he chowed down on these cookies that she baked specifically for him and got completely hammered. Passed out on her floor, did what drunks frequently do when they are completely hammered, so that she had to clean up after him. And
oh, that's awesome.
Yes. And it's just, you allow yourself to chase the person that you would be if you were someone else, and follow these things to their logical conclusions or their illogical conclusions, either one. It's a blast. It is a blast, and it's such fun. So I show people a lot of different ways to accomplish the same goals. And when I built Character Clinic, people took it as, well, these are all the steps you have to take. And I specifically say in the beginning, don't do that. This is a reference resource. You're going to get some ideas from this. But just answer like 2 or 3 questions. And people have, for a long time, ended up building these long-ass character biographies prior to doing any writing. And I don't do that. I start out with people I don't know, and I discover things about them as I write along.
I've found that it's way more fun that way.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do a lot of character biographies, and even with Glass House, I did a really long character biography for both of the boys. And a lot of it I needed to know, but I could have found out through writing them.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the mistakes, and that's one of the things in the revision that I'm going to let go of is their character bios. I mean, some of it I do need to know, like because there is a real depth to their lives that they have no idea. They're connected in ways they have no idea about. And I need to know as the author.
Mm-hmm.
But there's other things that, I can let go of and build up a little bit more. I'm finding, working through Misty and River and Tracy in the Fulton Hills book that I'm writing right now, that is the most fun I've ever had working with characters I barely even know.
Right.
While I'm sticking with the motivation for the bad guy, I found my old House on Andrews Ave paperwork the other day when I was decluttering, and it was like Wednesday, and I was like, oh my holy shit, oh my god, and I read the first sentence and I said nope, and I put it up because it's already different and I'm okay with that, and I want to leave the other thing for a future story.
Yeah. It's something I refer to in How to Write a Novel as a run ticket item, which is RNTKT, which means reader needs to know this. And it's stuff that you start throwing into the story or start throwing into your character biographies because you think the reader needs to know this. And it ends up causing a lot of extrapolative writing, or expository writing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Expository writing, where you are telling people what you think they need to know. Because rather than letting them discover stuff.
Well, I wasn't doing that.
Oh, well, yeah, but when you are building in advance these long worlds, it starts, or these deep background biographies and things like that, then all of a sudden you have to start putting, you think you have to start putting all this stuff into the story.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
Yeah, because you built it into the background. So therefore, reader needs to know this, or a run ticket. And they don't. They don't. They need to have things unfold and surprise them and discover it. They don't need to be told things. And so, yeah, that's the fun that you have in discovering them needs to be the same fun your reader has when the reader comes in and discovers it. When it hits you as a surprise, it's going to hit the reader as a surprise too. So, the fun thing that happens for the reader will happen for you is the fun thing that will happen for the reader. And if you're having fun, you're doing it right.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So what's the next step?
That's the last step right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So you have to show up and you have to keep your real target in sight, which is just this place, this time, these words. And then you have to find the joy.
Yeah. And finding the joy, again, stamina. So just remember, like, especially if this is something that is new to you, or if you're using the summer of fiction writing as a way to try something new, or as a way to dive into something you haven't done before. If you find yourself slogging through something that you feel like, well, I have to do this. This is a necessity. Almost like those transition scenes you talk about in a lot of your courses where no, you don't have to do, if it's boring for you, if you're thinking, well, it's boring, but it has to be done. No, it doesn't have to be done.
Right. Yes.
Try some of the things that Holly offers in the Summer of Fiction course. So go in there. A lot of it is free stuff. She does have links to her courses in there as well if you want to take a look at something, if you want specifically to spend your time building characters. We're not saying don't do that. If that's what you want, she's got the clinics. If you want to work on building a world, building a plot, anything. I'm building my world book, and I'm having the most fun that I've ever had working on Fulton Hills as a world, because I'm just kind of discovering things. It's like I have this scene in the book that I didn't know was going to happen quite like this, but they have a historical society, and then they have a secret historical society, because there are two halves of Fulton Hills.
That's beautiful.
And there are actual names to each side. And when the character walked into the room, and she's been there before, and she looked around, and it's one of her favorite places in Fulton Hills at all, I was like, oh my God, this is my Fulton Hills world book. This is my information library. All of this in this area is, I can pull out any drawer and take a look in it. And that's why I'm creating this world book, is because that is that room. That is everything, every article, every journal page that's ever been written on a cryptid and shared, and every ghost story and every historical fact about the magic in the area. It's just everything is in that room, and that is my book. And that is, yeah, it was such a great scene. And that's what you kind of have to do is keep it fun. Keep it as this kind of magic and this mystery that you keep unfolding for yourself. And that's going to keep your stamina, even when the writing itself gets hard, because not every day is magic. Some days you slog through. I've had several days. Not every week do I get almost 1,500 or 15,000 words in 4 days, and that's not a huge amount, but
that's
it's a huge
awesome amount.
I'm just saying, like, there are some people that write 3,000 words a day every single day, 7 days a week, and don't take holidays off. I mean, those guys, that's a different person. But when your goal is 1,000 words a day, 4 days a week, 4,000 words, and you get almost 1,500, that's a great week.
Yeah, 15,000.
But not every week is like that.
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes you're sitting there and you're getting 100 words every 10 minutes. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to remember the joy, and that the next day maybe your brain will be better.
Yes, and there are days, everybody has them. There are days when it isn't fun, because there are just simply days that aren't fun, and they happen to everybody. But if you know why you're doing this, and if you love what you're doing, then you get past those days. And and the fun comes back.
Absolutely. So what is our takeaway for today?
Okay. Hard work and pushing yourself to learn to do difficult things is one of the places in your life in which you discover joy. Just every time you have an opportunity to learn to do something different, take it. Every time you have a chance to push yourself to reach to some higher level, take it. Because if you persist, you gain all of these new skills, you become better at things, you know more, you create more, you live a more joyful and wonderful and better life. And that is the best thing that any of us can do to make the world a better place, is to be more joyful and more creative people.
Yeah. Yeah, and share that with everybody else and just be a happy, love, light, creation person in this world.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's your woo-woo for the day.
That is it.
Yeah.
Yes, I go woo-woo so rarely that, you have just seen the little tiny piece of me that,
Yeah. It's in there somewhere. I'm way more woo-woo than Holly. But yeah, so that is our episode for today. The idea behind it is the long haul, is the 3 months, is, and I wanted to say this too. I created a daily check-in thread in the Summer of Fiction Writing. But again, this is for NaNoWriMo, Script Frenzy, any event that you're doing. If you're doing the 3-day novel, it's totally key to remember the love that you have, the joy, keeping the joy around, remembering that, because you've got 3 days to write, finish, and revise as best you can this book. So I think at that point it's more write, finish, and edit.
Yeah,
than
just
a revision.
all you're doing at that point is slinging hash at a wall and hoping it sticks.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're submitting it right after that 3rd day, whew.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. There are ways that you can create that space. I know, I've always had this idea of going to a hotel, booking the hotel, having like snacks and I'll probably have Diet Pepsi and Coke for the caffeine, and then just sitting there and writing for 3 days, and then having this wall that makes me look like I'm a serial killer or hunting a serial killer, with all of my cards and all of the lines crisscrossing and all of my background. That is a bucket list item right there. Is I want to go in and write in a complete screenplay in like maybe 3 days or a week. And have all of my shit up on the wall and look crazy. That is a bucket list item. But that's the kind of thing that you have to do, depending on the goal you have, depending on the event that you're working in,
right,
and the time frame that you have. Is you have to find the way to keep your joy. So if it is having the picture of your hunky main character's love interest on the wall and you giggle every time you look at him, fine. I haven't done that, no.
No, you would never do that.
No, I don't have secret pictures of Manu Bennett and Timothy Oliphant stowed away. Young pictures of Gary Oldman in Air Force One, even though he was a bad guy. No. If there is a book out there that inspires you, put it near you. If that is something that inspired you to be who you are today, keep that book on the shelf. I have a Dr. Seuss book on like right above my stuff, and it's the Places You Will Go.
Oh, I love that one.
And sometimes I'll have a Shel Silverstein book, Where the Sidewalk Ends. Shel Silverstein for sure, and Bruce Coville are the people who inspired me to want to tell stories other than you, because you were the person that showed me I can do it, because you were doing it. Mm-hmm. I remember you always writing, and Shel Silverstein and Bruce Coville put what you did into something that I could understand as a kid and want to do myself. Put something out that reminds you why you're doing what you're doing, even if it's a picture of your kids.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you'd like to follow us on the socials, we are at AIARWIP on Twitter and on Instagram, although I think it might be Alone with Invisible People. I think it's at Alone with Invisible People on Instagram. I've been saying that wrong. Somebody mentioned that to me as well. If you want, you can follow us on Facebook. I am trying to be more active on all 3 platforms, but on Facebook we are at Alone in a Room with Invisible People. We would love to have you join us for the Summer of Fiction writing. You can go to summeroffiction.com to read all of the details. There's plenty of links in there as well to bring you to the forum, or if you need to create an account first, it's got the link there too. So summeroffiction.com. If you'd like to support the podcast, you can go to ko-fi.com. That is ko-fi.com/alone. And every dollar really makes a difference. We really I cannot stress enough how much I appreciate everybody supporting us the way that we do. It's in any way that you can support whatsoever, that's great. Share, talk about us, come into the forums and ask questions and be a part of the community. I mean, it's amazing that alone makes this podcast thing so much more fun. I mean, we are definitely doing it for you. So it makes it so much more rewarding for both Holly and myself when we can see how we're helping or see that there is a question we needed to answer. But if anybody who has donated, whether it's a monthly basis or it's a one-time thing, I really want to just say thank you so much. If you don't want to use Ko-fi, you can go to alonewithinvisiblepeople.com, and on the top right hand, there is a drop-down menu, and that has $5, $10, and $15 increments of support, and that is a one-time thing. You can do it whenever you want. And again, thank you so much. If you'd like to support Holly, there are 3 different ways. You can go buy her fiction. Look it up. HOLLYLISLE. And she's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, pretty much anywhere. Then you can also support her by going into the courses, finding one that you like. So we just want to say thank you so much for listening. I hope that this episode has been inspiring and motivational. And again, if you want to be a part of the community and be a voice on this podcast in any way, join up at hollyswritingclasses.com. It's a free account, and just talk to people. If you have any questions, you can ask on the podcast forum, or you can write me at show@alonewithinvisiblepeople.com. And if you want to write to me personally about anything that you're going through right now, if if anything I say has struck you and you need somebody to talk to, it's Rebecca@alonewithinvisiblepeople.com. Thank you so much. We adore you guys. We love you guys. And we can't wait to see you in the forums. Holly?
So I guess I want to wrap up by saying, come on in, hang out with us. We are going to have a wonderful summer. We're going to get a lot of stuff done. But just remember to write with joy, to find your fun in it, and to be consistent, show up, set targets that you can actually reach. Don't set impossible goals. Set goals that are doable and succeedable at every single day, and find your joy. And I hope I will get to hang out with you this summer, and we will get a lot of stuff done.